This was an amazing chapter in the sense of the fact that we're getting the God Valley flashback through Loki, the same way we got the Whitebeard Roger flashback through Odin, which means Loki is already one of my favorite characters in the series. Just off of that, I also gotta mention that Garp Roger fight being so epic and cool. Put some respect on Garp's name, because you guys been hating for way too long, and the Rocks crew forming being so cool. The aura farming they were doing in that last page was insane. Even the Cooja pirates getting aura with 3 empresses on one ship. So let's do a deep dive on the most recent installment of One Piece. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notification. As you see, we're being way more consistent, so we need to support, or else it might go on another hiatus when it comes to videos. Now the first thing I want to talk about in this chapter, which might not be the most hype thing, but I think is the most important thing, is Rocks, of course, when he breaks those eye holes in Pirate Island Beehive. Okay, obviously I'm joking. Now the real reason I'm talking about is Rocks, of course, but I'm not talking about that figure that Avala Pizarro took over. I'm talking about the 2 legendary Dark Fruits that Rocks said he needed, and he said one is an Elbaf. And people are already theorizing that it could be something this, it could be something that. The fact that he said it shows its true power in if Harold eats it is pretty much a huge hint to being Loki's Dark Fruit. But people still are kind of confused. Like, is it Yami Yami no Mi? Is it the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Is it the Nika fruit? Honestly, I think it's this. I think the 2 legendary Dark Fruits are Luffy's Dark Fruit and Loki's Dark Fruit. The reason why I think that is because look at the mural. If you see the mural, there's the serpent, who of course is pretty much a disgustingly legendary creature if it's on the mural and not big. Look how huge it is on the mural. Then there's Imu's Dark Fruit. We see Imu's Dark Fruit twice in its full zone form and its hybrid form on the mural. And then there's Nika. Nika's also there. So those 3 to me are the legendary Dark Fruits. And I think if you don't think it's those 3, you're not really understanding what Elbaf's all about. I think Yami Yami no Mi is important. I do think Dear Gurgur no Mi or the Stone from Bill Hancock, those are really important Dark Fruits. Even Lost Dark Fruit is super important. But when it comes to legendary, I think it has to be to do with Loki's Dark Fruit. And I can't wait to see when Loki finally reveals it, because he had Sea Prism Stone Cuffs. But when he finally reveals it, we see the true strength of Loki. I can't wait to see Luffy versus Loki, and this is definitely, Rocks is definitely hyping that up in Elbaf. Now, of course, whenever there's advanced Conqueror's Haki or Conqueror's Haki coding in a chapter, it has to be one of the first things you talk about. And in today's chapter, we've seen it with Garp's fist and Roger's sword, and they both hit each other. Usually we see clashes that like split the skies and cause drastic environmental changes when it comes to Conqueror's Haki coding. We've seen that with Whitebeard Roger. We've seen that with Rocks and Harold. But today we see actually these young guns actually hitting each other with Conqueror's Haki coding. It kind of gave me the vibes of Kaido versus Luffy on Wano. And if I'm being honest here, guys, the fact that the narrator said Rocks, Garp, and Roger were the legends of that era, or became legends of the Great Pirate era, but at this time they were pretty much young youth with their blood boiling. Oh yeah, Garp stocks went through the roof because we already know people respect Roxy's ability. Just look at the last 3 chapters. Rocks has aura in the fan base, in the community. And we already know Roger is the Pirate King. So even if people don't respect Roger, he's always going to have aura. You can't deny that Haki transcends all. Kaido said it best, yo. He became Pirate King. Like Roger's aura, like you saw him thirsting over Shaki. He's still aura is still intact. But Garp, there's been a lot of question marks with Garp, and people have their reasons for that. I actually have a Garp video dropping very soon, so you guys can see me talk about Garp in more in depth because of this chapter. But I think today's chapter really was Garp stamping himself as, yeah, Rocks is cool, yeah, Roger's cool, but I'm Monkey D Garp. My son is Monkey D Dragon and my grandson's Monkey D Luffy. You think I'm not a GOAT level character? That's the vibe I got from this clash, and I loved it. Another main thing in this chapter we have to talk about was Shaki. Shaki was pretty much Boa before Boa, but without Boa's intense OP Dark Fruit, of course. But still, as she kicks Scarper Gabon, like that's prime Scarper Gabon, she's just kicking casually just for saying her name. And then she low diffs Gol D Roger. And Roger was looking like Sanji in that under Shaki when Shaki was standing over top of him and he had the hard eyes. And he's like, I like her too much. Yo, if I'm being honest here, Roger was giving Sanji vibes, and Sanji fans should definitely rejoice. And it definitely does kind of confirm what I've been saying for years. I said that Roger and Luffy are similar, but they have major differences. And this is one of them right here. One of the major differences right here. Roger simping over Shaki. Luffy would never do this. We saw Luffy see Bo Hancock with no clothes on, and he still kept it solid. He kept it player. But of course, Roger went full on Sanji mode. So I loved it seeing Roger like this because it kind of confirms that Roger and Luffy have differences, which I've been saying. If anything, I think Monkey D Garp and Luffy have more similarities. And there's a reason why the Cooja pirates were actually worried about Garp more so than Roger, because they know Garp is not going to care about their beauty. Yo. He's going to try to take them down regardless, and I love that fact. Now, if I'm being honest here, I have to talk about the Rocks Pirates, yo. There was a lot of aura in that pirate island, with Captain John discussing, of course, the Galera and the legends of those army of giants. Big Mom also discussed how she's trying to get intel. Of course, Big Mom is known for being the most intel, has the best intel in the One Piece story. So her talking about intel definitely was kudos to Oda, so giving Big Mom some respect there. This army of frozen giants is definitely getting so much aura through Loki's flashback. I think it has to do with the ancient weapons, of being honest. I think it has to do with Noah as well. I think Whitebeard and Strucin, though, had good very points saying if they're dead, they're corpses, what's the point? I think, honestly, that was pretty interesting when they said that. And then Bobil, this fishman on the Rocks crew, finally speaks, and he has a new design with his hair pointed up in flames. And he says the giants aren't going to listen even if we do get them. So it's the fact that these giants are a major plan of Rocks. They're definitely going to be involved in the current One Piece story. They're in Punk Hazard, for goodness sakes. We've seen Nami and Chopper run through those army of frozen ice giants. If we're returning to Punk Hazard, I wouldn't mind, guys. And if we do return to Punk Hazard, we better see Akainu versus Aokiji finally, guys, because I want to see how that happened. I think Akainu versus Aokiji definitely could help the frozen army giants sort of leave that ice. And imagine if they're actually still alive through that ice. Imagine they're still heart beating through that ice, and they were frozen through time, and when they pretty much time traveled in a sense, guys. I see it happening, guys, and I think they're definitely going to be involved in the final war. If Oda keeps bringing them up through the flashback, Rocks wanted them, and I think they're going to help out Luffy. Of course, Elbaf is the perfect art for to have them released, but I just don't know how Oda's going to bring us back to Punk Hazard. I wonder how he's going to do it. Or do they just pop out of nowhere and we're like, oh, they get an explanation of how the magma from Akainu's definitely froze, melted them finally. I would love it. As a fan, I definitely would love it. And then Kaido says something that is so Kaido-like. He says, let's just force them to join us. Let's just force Herald to also join us as well by through force. And Rocks kicks the shit out of Kaido and says, he pretty much calls him a brat for dissing his friend Herald. Of course, they tell Rocks to calm down, and of course Kaido wants to smoke, so Rocks and Kaido would have fought right there and then. This is a young rookie Kaido as well. He's still strong, but still, like, rookie Kaido, come on, Rocks is definitely gonna mollywop you. And Captain John even makes fun of Kaido, saying, you horn-headed rookie, relax, yo. We still gotta build up our cash. We still gotta make some money before we actually turn on each other. And Captain John is known for his treasure, his legendary treasure that Buggy was looking for. So definitely adds up for Captain John to say that he got some aura points there as well. And definitely, I think there's a lot of respect to certain pirates in the Rocks crew that we're learning. And I thought the final panel was super cool, seeing the epic Rocks Pirates panel, as Rocks says Elbaf is the key. And now it makes sense why Oda wants Rocks' flashback through Elbaf, because he's obsessed with it. I think Blackbeard probably is coming to Elbaf because of this Rocks being obsessed with Elbaf, and Blackbeard seems to be following a lot of Rocks' will. And this is Shanks' island as well, so we could see Shanks versus Blackbeard in Elbaf just because of this panel of Rocks glazing the hell out of Elbaf. If I'm being honest, it's definitely a strong chance. I also want to go back to the Cooja Pirates and how they pretty much hit a lick we're going through the Roger Pirates treasure, and then they almost didn't leave any food for them as well, as Roger's crew sees Garp, as Roger was about to leave because of the Marines, but as soon as they found out it was Garp, Roger was like, yeah, I want the smoke with Garp. I love the beef between these two young monsters. And I also found it cool how they both said, let's crush him, like showing that they both want to destroy each other. And you see a very similar look to Ace and Luffy, as well as the narrator putting the box there, acknowledging that it's Luffy's grandfather and Ace's father going at it right now. And even the Cooja know Garp wanted smoke, so he's not a lover boy. That confirms it. I honestly think that Garp is similar to Luffy. I said this earlier, but I definitely gotta restamp it in this moment here, guys. Like, Garp is definitely stands on business, yo. He doesn't care. Now, of course, this chapter title was called Idols. And we just see the Cooja Pirates low diffing all these dudes with due to their beauty. And Clarissa said, will she ever shed her beauty? And now we know that she's Elder Neon that was helping out Luffy during Amazon Lily. It's kind of comedic. It's kind of funny how she did shed her beauty. But I think Clarissa in her prime, though, her young days, she definitely was looking very, very nice, if I'm being honest here. I know Shaki overpowered her when it comes to her beauty, but Gloriosa, yeah, she's looking nice, guys. And then there's, of course, Tritoma. She lets Gloriosa know about Shaki and how she got 100 times more letters. And I think this could be Luffy's mom, because we know that she passed away due to her love sickness, unlike Gloriosa, unlike, of course, Shaki, who, of course, we know Gloriosa is Roger, we know Shaki's Rayleigh, we know Boa is Luffy. I think that she might have been Monkey D. Drake, and it could definitely add to the lore of Luffy, Monkey D. Dragon, and his mother. Definitely the fact that she's in this chapter with the whole rock stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if on Garp's ship, currently on Garp's ship, a 17-year-old during God Valley Monkey D. Dragon was there. I think a rookie dragon being a marine and being there during God Valley, or just being involved in this Rocks flashback would be cool, because we got Kaido as a rookie. Why not get a dragon rookie? Why not get a kind of rookie marine moment? I think that would be fun. And I found it extremely funny how Roger was asking the Cooja pirates for Shaki, which is why I believe he is similar to Luffy, but he has a major difference to Luffy. The fact that he has a bullhorn and he's asking for Shaki, he's about to kidnap Shaki. Like this is levels of thirst we have never seen from the likes of a legendary character. If anything, this would kind of remind me of Blackbeard and Jewelry Bonnie's moment. Of course, now what we know about Jewelry Bonnie is kind of a Ayo moment, but I'm talking about when Blackbeard asked Jewelry Bonnie to join his crew as his girl, not as a crew member. It was looking like Roger has that same DNA as Blackbeard when it comes to the females, yo. Like, honestly, Luffy is definitely not like this when it comes to that. So I found it very, very interesting to see in the contrast. We also see Gloriosa pretty much annoying Roger, and Roger's like, yo, get the hell out of the way, I'm trying to see Shaki. Like, that was probably one of the funniest moments, if not the funniest moment in this chapter. Like, Roger has no chill. And then of course we see Rayleigh pretty much calls the Roger pirates idiots, and Shaki's like, I don't know how you do it, how you chill with these guys. And Riley's like, he gets winked at by Shaki and he gets a little nervous, he gets a little shocked, kind of like the Zoro Hiyori moment in Wano. I thought that was pretty cool seeing, because we know that Rayleigh and Shaki do end up together, so I thought that was pretty cool. We also see a little glimpse of Gloriosa's love sickness as we learn how pretty much she joins the Rocks Pirates. She has to leave Amazon Lily if she has this love sickness, and Shaki is her sister too, because she's concerned about Gloriosa. And of course, Shaki does end up becoming the Empress. I like how Oda's kind of fleshing out the Cooja lore. This Amazon Lily Haki Island has always been hyped to me with Boa Hancock and her sisters, but to see the lore through down the generations, I love it as a fan. We also see during this Loki flashback a little bit of Loki. Who would have thought during a Loki flashback we see a little bit of Loki? He's drowning, of course. He's trying to get out to sea. He's trying to leave Elbaf. Kind of reminded me of Odin, if I'm being honest. And then, of course, Ida, who's Hyaruden's mom, shows love to Loki, some motherly love, but he doesn't buy it. He calls her a gold digger. It also explains how Loki tried a lot of times to join the Rocks, but failed each time, because when Rocks used to come to Elbaf, he'd always invite Harold, and he would say no, and Loki would try to, of course, join the Rocks Pirates. I think he'll still help Rocks complete his dream, but I don't think he's going to do it in the conventional way he initially wanted as a kid. I think Blackbeard coming to Elbaf, Loki interacting with Blackbeard, Loki might even see Rocks in Blackbeard. There's a lot of things that Oda can go. There's a lot of directions Oda can go with this Loki plotline. And the last thing I think I should talk about in this chapter is Kyo the Hitman, Shiki's rival, the Silver Axe. Like, this guy is incredibly powerful, because just from his design, I already know that. Look how physically strong he is. And the fact that he changed in size, he kind of, maybe he has Mad Monk Aruja's stealth fruit power, who knows. I also want to say this, Sengoku specifically name-dropped Silver Axe alongside Wang Ji and Captain John as notorious Rocks pirates, because we all know that Rocks, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom were all name dropped because they were like the Yonko after Rocks passed away. They all became Yonko. But then, of course, Sengoku made it very specific to mention Shiki. And now we're seeing Silver Axe, Captain John, and Wang Ji and how they look. I think these guys are going to be some of the top hitters in the Rocks Pirates after Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Shiki. It's going to be Wang Ji, Captain John, and Silver Axe. I think this is going to be very cool to see as well as a fan. And I think it's very cool to see his design. I like how Oda's highlighting these characters. I love it. And the final thing I want to talk about is, of course, that color spread. We see Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and we see Roger, Rayleigh, Scopper. Like, the parallels that have been... Let's be honest, I've been talking about these parallels since Scopper Gabbana was revealed in Elbaf. These parallels are definitely a thing, guys. We already knew it because it was gold, it was silvers, and it was copper. Like, that's the trend there when it comes to Gol D Roger, Silvers, Rayleigh, and Scopper Gabbana. Now, of course, I do want to say this. The fact that Nami's there as well, I think Oda definitely made Nami more highlighted as well, because Nami was the third crew member to join Luffy. Kind of how, like, I think Oda's alluding to Scopper being the third crew member to join Roger. I think it was first it was Rayleigh, then it was Scopper, which Sanji was actually the fifth member to join after the Barte arc. You could say Nami joined after Arlong, but I'm talking about, like, let's be realistic, guys. Sanji was the fifth one, Usopp was fourth, Nami was third, Zoro was second. So that's how this crew went. So I thought the color spread definitely made a lot of sense. Oda didn't really tell us much, like, he didn't confirm much in the color spread. It's a color spread, he's not gonna do that. It's a picture, it says 1,000 words. He wants us to give our own analysis of it, but that's my analysis of that color spread. And this chapter was amazing, I loved it. But let's be honest here, even though this is a hype chapter, this is only build up to the next chapter. I think next chapter is gonna be way better than this chapter if it's the God Valley flashback. So that's my thoughts here, and I got some crazy content coming out too, so you guys better turn on notification. It's about to get crazy when it comes to this One Piece content.